Let's just check that it is going into the group. Yes, we are live into the world of Facebook. This is Jo Squires here, the Midlife Clarity Coach, streaming into the Facebook group, we hope, any second now. And I have the wonderful Dawn Hanson with me this evening. Hello, Dawn.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And you?
I am absolutely wonderful. I'm just waiting for confirmation that we've gone into the Facebook group, but you know what? We're going to go ahead anyway. It's telling me we're in there. So we are going to talk about what it was like for you to go from where you were when we first started working together to where you are now, which is a pretty spectacular transformation.
Yeah.
Even if I do say so myself.
Yeah, back to normal, Dawny. Yeah, I think it's probably about over 12 months ago, isn't it, when we first got together?
I think it was November 21, thinking about it.
God, crikey, it's even longer then, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was in a bit of a pickle, to be perfectly honest. In a job that I was finding really, really difficult to cope with due to sort of like severe menopause symptoms, like brain fog, like was probably the worst one, sort of forgetting what I was saying in meetings and things like that.
Yeah.
But I'd already had some counselling through work because I quite suddenly lost one of my close friends to cancer. And I think that was the biggest catalyst point for me to sort of realise that I needed to do something. I was off work for a little bit and work was really, really good with me. And I had some CBT and it was okay, but the woman, it was just like, it was just something that she was doing because she had to do it. It was a job. And I don't know, I didn't get the same sense that I'd get with you, of the openness, the friendliness, the the helpfulness, that kind of thing. But when I first came to you, I was like probably in floods of tears and not being able to string a sentence together, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, no, a bit of a mess, really.
I think the main thing that I remember is absolutely that, the first few sessions I think were lots of tears because of the fact that you couldn't string a sentence together, and it was more frustration and embarrassment. I think you were definitely suffering with depression definitely as well, weren't you? But it was the whole brain fog and the embarrassment of losing your thread, like you said, mid-meeting.
Absolutely. And the people, they say that they understand and they try to sort of empathize with you at work, but do they really? Menopause is becoming a massive place in the workplace, isn't it, at the moment? And I think even at work they were starting to sort of do things when I was working in my previous job. But I just felt that I'd gone back to work, my CBT training had finished, and I just felt I needed something else. And obviously we'd known each other for a long time, sort of working together. We got along, and I just thought, this is for me. So that's why I came to you, Jo.
I think it's important to note that I wasn't able to take you on as a client until your CBT counselling and your coaching through work had finished, for ethical reasons, and also, for your own good. I didn't want to confuse things. You were very aware of that. And we came to that agreement that I was still here for you in that time, but you needed to finish that course of counselling through work first. And then it was almost like, okay, we've got free rein now. Let's just go ahead. Can you remember those first few sessions?
Yeah, I mean, apart from like being in floods of tears, like you said, I didn't really know what I wanted. I didn't even know what was there.
Let yourself in for.
I just knew I needed some help and some support and some guidance. And I'd been in sort of like, corporate finance world for sort of like 25 plus years. And I loved it. I still do love it, because I'm still part and parcel of that environment now, because I've set myself up as a self-employed finance broker. But the main thing was it wasn't where I saw myself being, and I wasn't 100% me, and I just felt as though I'd lost my whole personality.
Yeah.
So me doing what I've done is sort of getting me back to me and everything else. But yeah, the sessions were just, they were very open, weren't they? There was nothing really structured, because once I started talking and once I opened up, I don't think I could stop.
Yeah.
And it was a different, there were different sort of elements to it as well. So I'd got a lot of things going on, sort of like in my past, that was sort of like eating away at me, that were affecting me moving forward. So it was like the whole regression back and sort of like working on those things, along with like things that were sort of in present time as well. So it was, yeah, just a multitude of things. But I didn't do any of the silent counselling.
I hadn't started silent counselling when we
did
first
a bit
had our
on
sessions.
Pressure points and things, I think, but nothing.
Yes, probably. Yeah, we and the funny thing was, actually, I can remember now you saying, yes, so towards, because it was September last year when I qualified as silent counselling. I can remember you saying, I don't think I'm ready for it. I just don't think I'm ready for silent counselling. And it was like, do you know what? I'm not going to force you into anything. And you're absolutely right. There was like a backbone or a shape of a coaching program. So there always is. And you will find this with your clients now as well. But it's actually what the client needs. So something completely different to your plan may well come up in that session. And I mean, we'll talk in a minute about what a transformation you have gone through, but it took a lot to get you to that point. Yeah. It took a lot of releasing. I am an NLP practitioner, and I know we did some neuro-linguistic programming. We did do that. It really doesn't matter to you what the modality is that we use, though, does it? Because from your perspective, it's what result you can get, and what change it can make.
It just moved in the sessions itself, as to what I was sort of feeling at that time, and what sort of like help or guidance that I needed. And you were just there to sort of like support and move me along, and sort of like, point me in the right direction, which was exactly what I needed. And I'm not saying everything's perfect now or hunky-dory, but I'm able to cope with things much better. I sort of like sit back and think about things before I sort of like act on things. And I'm not saying that I'm a sort of an angry person or anything like that, but I it's quite easy just to sort of bite, isn't it? But now I sit back, sort of like compose myself. Sometimes I don't say something, sometimes I do, but it's just in a better, more organized way than I was doing at the time. And I've not always been like that. It's it was a slow progression of a multitude of things that just culminated.
And I think you're right, because if you think about it, it's been years that some of these things have been building up, and to be able to get to a point where you've acknowledged them, and you're able to process them and look at them in a slightly different way, because you have a different voice, you have a different viewpoint, and reframing what we go through, reframing what we've been through, and able to release the emotions that have been attached to that is kind of the back work, the inner work.
Yeah.
And then the life coaching element comes in, and that's the forward focus.
Yeah, the one thing that sort of sticks in my mind is that it's more about them than it is about you, and that's just there at the back of my mind all the time now, and it's so right.
Yeah,
it really is.
You're not always going to be everyone's cup of tea, and I think if there's one thing that we've each learned, it is that exactly. But you certainly are getting your personality back. Your character is coming back, shining through, and as you said, getting the real Dawny back. But one of the things that you really have seen is what is possible.
Yeah.
And recreating your dreams, recreating your vision and your goals.
Yeah.
Is what we've been
as
working
daunting
on.
as it was at the time, and still is, to a certain extent. And it's just a gradual build up now that I'm actually doing, and sort of like incorporating different things. And to a point that I felt a bit of a fraud to start off with, because I was setting up these new businesses and I didn't know how they were going, and I was a newly qualified personal trainer, and I just thought, well, what can I give? But I've actually been involved with sport for the majority of my life, and it's something that I should have done at 18 but didn't, and went to work in a bank, and that was it. Got pigeonholed and was there for the foreseeable. But yeah, so it's all changed now.
It happens to so many of us, and midlife is generally the point that we realize, hang on a minute, I have been pigeonholed. Or, you know, you and I both ended up in corporate finance. How? Yes. We just did.
Don't know.
We just did. And there's so many of us that have been in that arena in the corporate world, full stop, for so many years, because we don't know what is on the outside. We don't know what is possible.
Yeah.
When you started to realize what you are capable of and what is possible outside of that, can you remember how that felt?
Scary, emotional, not knowing whether it was the right thing that I was doing. You know, when I was going through my training, I was still working full time, which was hard. And I'm fitting my training in because I am an avid gym goer myself anyway. So it was just trying to sort of do everything all at once. But and then and then I left the job to go somewhere else, and that didn't work out. But it was the making of me, because it actually made me sort of finish what I was doing, gave me the time to do it, and put me in the position that I'm in now. So I'm still sort of like in the finance world, and I do love it because I like my agricultural connections, and I always will do. But I've got another avenue now that, you know, so they're both working side by side. So my PT is like early mornings and evenings majority of the time, and the finances during the day. So it all works really, really nicely at the moment.
And I will say, what a difference you have made for me as well, because having taken you out of that world where you know you weren't meant to be, and this is who you are meant to be, this is what you are here for, the tables are turning, and I'm now one of your clients as well.
Absolutely. And doing absolutely brilliantly.
It's just fantastic, Dawn. It really is. It's taken me a long time to pluck up the courage almost to say, I need that help, and I'm ready now. I've got a podcast that's going out tomorrow, in which I'll be talking about, you know, facing the fact that I needed that help, and how things change when you find the right support team. And
you're helping me out as well, sort of set up my online side of things. Like naturally, I've sort of gravitated to sort of like women of our age, although I've got younger clients, because my daughter's like younger. So I've got a wide variety of clients, but the majority of them are sort of like people like you and me that are going through or have been through menopause, and just need that additional support. They've put some weight on, they're not comfortable about going into the gym, so it's an ideal time. And I've got a few people like that, so me sort of like coming to you and say, look, I've got a proposition for you, how do you think? Like 12-week plan, support you with nutrition, it's all healthy eating, it's not any drastic diets, and it's just a complete and utter lifestyle change. It is proper food. And you can eat lots of food, surprisingly. And you feel full because you're eating more protein, which makes you feel fuller naturally. But and you didn't want to go to the gym, you weren't comfortable about going in the gym, so we said, right, no problem, this is online, so we can do gym workouts online once you get there. But we started off with like 10-minute body workout, just full body weight workouts, should I say. And we've now progressed to kettlebells, and we've progressed to dumbbells, and we're up to 30 minutes. So it's really time for you to do in your own time. And if you need any help, I'm there to sort of support you with that.
I think it's crucial to say to people that, you know, you will find the time if you want to do it. And how long are you prepared to stay as you are? which is again the reason that you came to me, because you could not stay there in that place that you were in mentally, emotionally, physically. And ironically now, your menopause experience has created the menopause expert that you are, and driven you in that direction.
So that's progressed even more now, hasn't it? So now, now Joe's just said I've qualified as a menopause expert. So it's early days, and I'm still sort of like going through all the training material and everything, but I'm now beginning to approach corporate businesses to go into their workplace, hopefully with you in tow to some of them as well, because there's mindfulness in there, and that's your forte. But it's just collaboration with different people, isn't it? And sort of seeing where people can help you and where you can help them to grow their business. But it's very early days with that, but I'm looking forward to getting my first presentation to go to be perfectly honest. So it's definitely something that would have helped me in the workplace back then. And along with your help and support and like counselling or whatever you want to call it, I then got myself back, and I was always back on track with my diet since I met my husband, but you know, that was a catalyst on me becoming healthier as well. So it wasn't all in my mind, it's all about your mind, your body, and actually what you feed your body with, and you know, you start to feel much more healthier from the inside out.
It is from the inside out. And you mentioned earlier that, you know, life is a roller coaster. There will be good days, there will be bad days, but it's how you face them now compared to how you were facing them then. And it felt like every single day was a bad day. Every single day was, you were either at the bottom of the dip or you were heading up, and it was a really, really tough climb. And then when you get to the top, it's absolutely great. You can look down, you can see everything that's happened, but then you will have these dips again. And it is how you deal with them, how you manage them through. You are aware of the days when self-sabotage kicks in, and it happens to us all. But it's then not beating yourself up about it. And we've only just had this conversation today. It's not beating yourself up about it, because what is the point? You made those choices at that time. You did what you did, whether that be food, whether it be drink, whether it be binge eating, whether it be smoking, whatever. You made that choice, you made that decision. The most adult thing, the most appropriate thing, the most productive thing you can do is flip that and say that's okay, because it was only one day, or just one meal, or just one cigarette, or just one drink. It's when you let that happen more and more and more, and then that becomes part of your routine.
You've just got to say you've done it, you've been there, you know how you felt while you was doing it, you know how you feel now after it's done. I was the same with my downfall was probably alcohol, and when I was working in the corporate environment, I was probably drinking like far too much alcohol. It started like sort of like Friday, Saturday, then went into Sunday, and then it'd go to Thursday and Wednesday, and before you know it, you're having, you know, wine at every evening, and it's just not healthy, and you're just not fulfilling what you need to do the next day. It's just
our bodies can't cope with it anymore. That's the other thing. And you know, it also with the exercise, with regards to the exercise, when we talk about doing the work that we've done, for instance, it literally was 5 to 10 minutes when we first started with just the body weight resistance, and as we're building up, and the mountain climbers. I couldn't even get my knee past my boobs. Well, actually, I couldn't get my knee past my belly at one point, but now I can. So it's
there you go.
It's a lot better. But do you know what? We've done it to each other. How many times do we do this? I've completely lost my thread. Completely. Yes, you will find the time if you want to make it happen for you. And it doesn't mean that you have to go racing to the gym and sign up as a gym membership that you think it's going to be a waste of money because I'm just not going to use it. You will always have something you are able to use at home. And you know what? I went to flipping Argos, didn't I? And I ended up getting the kettlebells. I got a new yoga mat. The programs that you have been absolutely brilliant for me, because I've just been able to reintroduce myself back to exercising gradually. Gently. And yeah, it is. It's, you know, it's baby steps. And that's the same with what you did. And I kept saying to you, you know, it's just baby steps that will make you feel that little bit better and will keep encouraging you to move forward. Look back at how far you've come. Don't look back because you want to go back to that place. Look back to see how far you have come. And how does it feel now to be where you are?
Oh gosh, it's like a big weight has just lifted off my shoulder. I'm going to work and I'm happy going into work. I actually love what I do. And there's a lot of things happening in the background with this online program, because I think that's the place to go. And I haven't got the capacity to do face-to-face with everybody because of my other job. So this is the next way forward. But to actually literally do a job that you adore is just amazing. And thanks to you, because you helped push me in that direction. I don't think I would have done it without you, Jo, despite being thrown into it when I lost the second job that I went in, because it was supposed to help me do my coursework, but that didn't work out. But no, it's just an amazing feeling, as you know, to sort of help other people to reach their goals. It's just brilliant.
I was determined that somehow or other you were going to use what you'd gone through and your experiences to help other people. We didn't know how at that point, whether it was you being a speaker, whether it was you being a presenter. We really had no idea, did we?
No.
And as I said to you back then, you only need to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of the people that you are coaching and that you are helping. And you're way ahead. Way ahead in that sense.
I always was, because, like, you know, all my life I've been sporty, whether that's like gymnastics. Well, it started off with ice skating and dancing, but the gymnastics took over. Then it went into athletics, cross country and running, and then karate, so black belt karate. Then karate with my kids, and then I had a little bit of a lapse where I put lots of weight on. I stopped exercising. I just went in work mode, and it's been good because I then built up my career by doing that. But I met my husband in 2015 and I was 4 stone heavier than I am now, bearing in mind that he's a British bodybuilding champion. He was like, what does he see in me? And I can remember going to the gym myself, and I'd just done some little side bends, and I couldn't walk for days. And you must have felt exactly the same when you first started. It was just, what am I doing? But I was consistent. In fact, I trained all the way through with Tony whilst he was getting ready for his last bodybuilding shows. So I actually did all the work that he was actually doing. So I saw how to do it, saw what to eat. I mean, your diet's nowhere near as extreme as what I've done in the past, but the principles are the same. And it's just vitally important that you start. You should look after your body all the way through your life, but in the latter years where your muscle is diminishing and your bones are getting weaker, it's just so important to fill your body with, like, you know, essential vitamins and minerals. It really is, and keep that protein level high.
And keep building the strength, because our bones are a lot more tender, aren't they? And they're actually healing a lot slower. And, you know, we do have to be mindful of that so many different things can happen, which is why I just think it's amazing that, you know, we could work side by side like this, building in the midlife, the menopause, absolutely everything. And I cherish every single session that we have, every single chat that we have, whether it be because I'm coaching you, whether you're coaching me. It's just amazing. Should we give them the scores on the doors so far then? So I'm into week 6 now of the 12-week program, and Dawn has helped me achieve an 11-pound weight loss and 13.5 inches off.
It's the inches that are the most important, because the weight, you're actually getting a smaller version, obviously, by the inches. So your weight doesn't matter about the scales, to be perfectly honest, as long as you're shrinking size wise, that's the main thing. But yeah,
I can see it in my shoulders already when I'm sitting here. Just feel it. It just, honestly, it's just amazing.
And your skin and everything, like, is just so much better.
I've got goosebumps now, even thinking about it again, because I just love working with
and we're
you
only halfway,
either way around.
We're only halfway through, and
that's the point.
I've already got plans for sort of the next after 6 weeks. So we've, after this next 6 weeks. So yeah.
I don't know what's coming. So basically, what would you say to anyone who, and it doesn't have to be me that they're coming to as a coach, or, it could be yourself, it could be any life coach or any specialist that could help people. What would your recommendations be, or what would your advice be to them?
Oh, just go for it. Just, what have you got to lose? You've got everything to gain. Just go for it. It's not about the money. Yeah, you've got to find the money from somewhere, but you've got to invest in yourself. And if you don't invest in yourself, how can you invest in the people that you love or you care about? Yeah. And it's just been, I just saw, it's weird because everybody just kept saying, you're not you, you're not you, you're not you. And I knew I wasn't me, and I knew I wasn't quite right.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't put my finger on it. And just by being able to openly speak to somebody about it, and for them to listen, and that was the main thing for me. So it's just well worth every penny. And I'm still with you, aren't I? We've got a session on Friday. And I'll continue to have those sessions, because it's just nice to
it's making me all emotional.
touch base with you, and just like, and it's not always about me now, is it? It's about both of us, and it's just
it's your safe space, isn't it, to open up. And do you know what, seeing that I'm helping you on your journey whilst you're helping me it's just, well, it is absolutely a win-win. It's just, honestly, Dawn, it's an absolute pleasure. I haven't been able to see any comments. I know some people have been watching us, but I haven't been able to see if any comments have been coming up. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, it's your mum. Well done, love you. Oh, she's made it. I'm so happy.
Well done, Mum.
Yes, well done for being able to join us. I'm really super proud of you for being able to join us. And Jill saying that's a fantastic result. It really is, honestly. I just feel so blessed.
It's addictive though, for you and for me, isn't it? So now we're both like sort of back on track and where we need to be. It's just
absolutely
keep going.
We will continue.
And not only that though, with you, Jo, it was the accountability as well. So you gave me some tasks and things like that to do, and I just. Oh yeah,
it wasn't always easy, was it? No. It wasn't always just, let's have a nice chat and see how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do play good cop, bad cop at times, but it is exactly about what you need. It might not be what you want or what you think you want, but it is actually what you need. And you are now able to see that in your clients as well, that it might not always be what they want, but you know that it's what they need. And they are two distinctly different things. And what I need right now is to go and release some of the water that I've been drinking today.
I need some food. I've got a chicken in the oven. I've just turned it down, so that's my dinner.
Go and rescue it quickly. Thank you so much for joining me tonight and just even talking about this, and for everything that you are doing. It's just amazing. So proud of you. You've helped me massively, and now you're helping me even more with this, and I just can't thank you enough. So wherever this is going to be shared out to now, I will put your social media links, etc., on there so people can contact you as well. And just thank you for being you and coming back to being you. So we will both see you soon, people.
Yeah.
Thank you. Goodbye.
See you later. Bye.